show you the last assignment and the bonus assignment, and then we can finish up the workshop nicely in time. If Carl and Leon will stop talking, please. Don't ruin it for me. So what we're going to do is talk a bit and do a bit with service accounts, a very important aspect of Kubernetes, which is oftentimes overlooked. We're running currently with the default service account, our customer app. We have not any service account configured. And one of the things you can do with Kubernetes from inside the pod is make API calls to the Kubernetes API, which essentially means that you can run your cluster from inside the pod. Perhaps you're familiar with Docker in Docker, which always was quite a hassle to get working with Docker. They essentially fixed that in Kubernetes, which makes it pretty much the default way of operating. So it's by default, your pod gets a security token mounted, which allows it to access the Kubernetes API. This access can be managed by using service accounts. So with the default service account, we can go, we'll first go inside the customer pod. So I have my pods here. So what I'm doing here is starting an interactive session with the customer pod, and I'm just opening a shell. So now I'm inside my customer pod, where I can see my app jar, for example. And from here I'm now allowed to do commands, and obviously, as we've learned before, this depends on what's available inside my pod. What I'm first going to do, and I have to look at the cheat sheet because this is and again, a one command, which I do not by heart. So we are going to navigate to the place in the Kubernetes or in the file system where the certificate is stored. So here, in this folder, Kubernetes mounts the token to access the Kubernetes API. You could run a pod using which actually has kubectl installed, so you can just do kubectl get pods and do whatever, kubectl delete deployment, kubectl delete namespace, depending on your privileges. But in this case we do not have that available, but that should not restrict us because we do have curl, and we can just do an HTTP request to the Kubernetes API. This is typically what a hacker would try, right? It would, if you do it correctly, you do not give it the hacker Kubernetes, the Kubernetes client, but it can still do curl or wget or something like that, wget. So we're doing that. And we have a nice curl command prepared. So what I'm going to try to do here is I'm going to try to delete my own deployment. I'm going to delete itself. So I'm running an API call to a delete call to apps namespaces Martin Begol, deployments customer, which fortunately for us, it will not allow me to do. I get a 403, and that's because we're running with the default service account. So by default, this is pretty secure in the sense that you cannot really do not have the privileges to do this. But it may very well be that your pod is running with a service account that has more privileges, and we have made a service account available for that. You can see those by doing get service accounts, or get there are all many times, just a side note, many times there are shorthands for commands. So service accounts SA, and I've shortened kubectl to K, and that's my thing, but so that's possible. But we've been provided with a service account, in this case with the same name as the namespace, Martin Begol. So if I use that service account, I have a bit more privileges. So let me add that to the deployment. Up until I find Oftentimes this is a lot slower than typing it in, but you do it anyway, right? So let's reapply the deployment. Then I have to wait 100 million years before the pod starts because we have a slow cluster. Let me go inside it. This is not one. 7. There we go. And then if I have that curl command again. Oh, hold on. I have to go to the same place. And then the curl. There we go. And then this was a success, and then when the kubelet wakes up, I'm thrown out because my deployment is actually, I shut my pod down, so it's gone. So that's service accounts. With service accounts you can give your pod privileges to do stuff inside the cluster, which for a simple Spring Boot app you probably do not want, but obviously this is a very powerful feature which allows you to do all kinds of very amazing stuff. And it's well baked in, so yeah, be aware of it and make sure you do not give pods too many privileges. That's the lesson of this course. Then the final one, the bonus assignment.